Internet. I'm just going to check. Actually, I'm going to put you on here as well so I can see what is going on.
This is
Twitch.
Mr. Trick TV. We are streaming with the incredible Joe Rodwell.
Directly
Um,
from my computer in South London.
yeah, hopefully it sounds all right. This is an experiment to basically talk about the first single on the album, which is called You, which is out on Freshly Squeezed. Joe Rodwell is absolute legend who um, makes music and arranges brass and many other stupid talents.
I trust you a few things.
Huh?
Hopefully, I pay the bills with all the things I can do. That's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Joe,
Hey.
tell the people in the internet what you do, and give us an introduction whilst I double check the stream.
Yeah, okay. Well, I am primarily now, as of 2020, a producer of various genres. I've never been particularly good at sticking to one type of music. I think that kind of comes from my background in playing brass and keys stuff, and I think if you kind of want to do a lot with those things, you end up playing across a load of different genres. But yeah, I also play. Obviously, I'm a trumpet player. I played with Rich a bunch of times. I mean, Mr. Trick. Sorry, Mr.
Don't
Trick.
tell him my
Don't
government
tell him the real
name.
name.
My government name.
Shit. All right. Yeah, yeah. With Mr. Trick, and various other artists. I mean, I've done a bunch of all the wedding band stuff, and also some festival stuff, which is really cool. But yeah, now primarily working as either a producer or a composer for. I want to say composer for TV because that makes it sound like I do it all the time. But I occasionally do composing for TV and adverts and stuff like that.
Come on, man. People want to know some name drops. Give us some name drops.
Name drops, Mr. Tricker. How can I get higher than that? Like, I mean, we're going. No, I mean, as a player, I've been lucky enough to play with some cool people. Shy Effects, Craig David.
Craig David.
I mean, not. I didn't. Yeah, but that was via Chase and Status as well, which is cool.
Oh,
yeah, forgot about that one.
Explosion.
Jesus. Oh god, I'm forgetting people's names. That other guy.
Who?
That other guy I can't remember the name of.
Oh wow, nice,
Tom Grennan.
Nice.
Tom Grennan. He's wicked. Like cool, really nice pop with a bit of a rocky, soul-y voice. He's doing some good stuff at the moment, and I got to play on one of his tracks recently via producer Lost Boy. Big up Lost Boy. Good stuff.
Nice. And I met you through working with Eleanor Pocket Bells.
Indeed.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was part of the original band lineup from Eleanor Pocket Bells back in 1800s, 2000 and I remember a long time ago, 9 years ago.
Cool. So that's Joe Rodwell, everyone. He's an absolute legend, and he's going to take us through the tune Do What You Do. This is the session. This is the track that I sent him. It doesn't sound anything like the end result in terms of my part, but we're going to focus more on the brass. So yeah, let's just play it for them and see where we're at.
Yeah, this is going to be like dead dry without any effects as well. So it's more about the arrangement more than anything else.
Yeah.
But we can figure. Actually, no. Well, yes and no. We've got some stuff with effects later on, which I'll play with.
Cool.
So dry.
Hey Joe, stop it!
That's enough, isn't it?
I have to explain something. The vocals are pitched down because we had Fraser Churchill write the lyrics, and then this is his demo, and we went through the whole album trying to convert male vocals to female vocals.
Yeah.
Which mean I got a complete nightmare pitching tunes up and down. So people are probably listening like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Why is there a gremlin? So obviously, if you don't know the tune, Kathika Rabbit from Slamboree sang on it, who is obviously female, and so that's why it sounds weird.
Can you send me the latest one, and then people can hear it, and I can chuck it in the session as well, and then
The
we get
latest
to,
one.
the
So
latest,
then
as
we'll
in
have.
the master. You
Oh,
able to do
okay.
that?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
chuck it in the session as well, so we can kind of see
Sure.
start
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
finish.
Yes, and hopefully, we won't get shut down
Oh
for
yeah.
playing my own music.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Um,
Well, we'll
but
see. I think on Twitch will be right. Please,
yeah,
Twitch.
yeah, when you export your audio, it sometimes doesn't have the song that you want.
Sure.
Um, and so yeah, it's a bit annoying, but it's our music, so hopefully it should be all right.
It should be fine. What I am going to do is I'm going to chuck a bit of reverb on because I can't deal with the fact that it's dry as anything. I did actually. So all the brass I gave Rich. Not every time, but for most of the tracks, I'm basically just giving the 2-track of brass. I think this being quite a layered up arrangement, I might have done several stems, but I just wanted to make it like almost as easy as possible, and almost like working on a remix. Almost, it's like this is what you get given, and you kind of get to mangle with that.
Yeah.
So for the reverb, I actually chucked it through. I can't see it. Oh, maybe I can. No, okay. It's actually all the reverb's going through a guitar pedal that's really stuck down onto a pedal board over here, which is the Strymon Big Sky, and then was distorted for a bit. Come on.
Who is playing
So me, Ovs. I'm playing all the trumpet parts. Then we've got Aaron Liddard, who is an absolute boss on all the saxes. Alto, tenor, and baritone sax, and
what?
Then, yeah.
Sorry, wait. He played 3.
Yeah. Actually, 5. I think we actually switched over. So this tune is pretty much as big as it gets for the brass tunes on the album, and it's almost full big band. Like we've literally got 5 sax parts going on at most times. So 2 alto saxes, 2 tenor saxes, and 1 baritone sax. So yeah, obviously layered up with Aaron at his place, and for all those geeky people, I'm happy to talk about microphones and stuff we use for that as well. And then Mr. Patrick Kenny on trombone, who is excellent and like just so professional, such a wicked sound. Like just it does. I don't want to put him in a corner, but he does the loud, really brash playing really well. He does all the other playing really well as well, but for this sort of stuff, it just really gets that real brassy, razzy sort of shit going.
Yeah.
And it's similar. We've got 4 trombones layered up, and then trumpet we've got at least 4 trumpets layered up at a time as well.
And everyone recorded at their own.
Their own
houses.
place. So I recorded here. I'll go through my stuff later, but my place here. Aaron, it was just before lockdown really kicked into gear back in the beginning of 2020 that I went over and we recorded stuff together. So that was quite cool. It was actually nice to work at his place. And he's got a sick home studio set up. Like he's got this really
Who's
nice.
This?
Aaron.
Who's this? No, I was going to say Patrick's in Scotland. That would have been a massive journey.
That was a different story, but Aaron's got his wicked set up at his, and we were using both a Neumann U87 and a Coles 4838 ribbon mic, which actually for most of the stuff here, I mean, we recorded everything on both, so we could have either layer up between like a tighter, brighter sound with the Neumann and like a darker, fatter sound with the Coles. But I would say most of the stuff we use is actually all the Coles, so it's all really ribbon micy and kind of, especially for layering stuff, that kind of tends to work well. You don't tend to get like a fight of the frequencies in the top register. You just, everything kind of sits and layers really nicely. And then Patrick, recorded it in his place in Edinburgh, and he'd never done any remote recording before, so it was a bit of a trial by fire for him. But he recorded everything. I've forgotten the name of the mic now. It's the one you get to see a lot of like podcasters and radio people using. It's like the big grey dynamic mic. You've seen it, Rich. You know what I mean. RE20.
Is that a Rode one?
No, Electro Voice. I think it's Electro Voice RE20.
Okay.
You wouldn't necessarily see it for certain stuff, but actually I think it's really good for anything that's loud. Anything you're playing really loud at, it's just going to capture it without getting, shit.
Wow. So they're like £460 microphone.
Yeah. which is not in this game not ridiculously expensive, you know. But and Erin's were definitely a little bit more expensive. I'm going to give away a secret of mine now. I record most of my trumpet stuff on this clip mic, which is only about 200 quid. Only, you know, but it's 200 quid.
Because you previously came here, and we did some demo, like we kind of arranged the stuff, and you played basically everything, and mate, you without blowing your own trumpet, you smashed that, like the writing. I don't know if I've seen anyone work that quick. Like press record. Right, press record again, harmony, and it was just like nice, and mate, that's a massive skill to have, just to be able to write that quickly and know exactly where it's going, which
I think it's very easy to kind of get stuck in that kind of, what fits here, maybe we should do this, and I just it's improv. I got told not to do this years ago, but I just improvise basically. I'll improvise.
Who told you not to do that?
It was somebody. I don't want to name names. This is when I was doing a master's at Kingston University for film and music for film and TV. And they said when you're writing to picture, and this is different. When you're writing to picture, don't just improvise away. But that's all I do. Just.
What is writing if it's not improvising?
That's what I think. I mean, I think it's not improvising like as if I was improvising over jazz stuff. I'm not trying to be clever. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to tell a story necessarily. I'm trying to think of like what am I hearing in this gap here that's going to make either support what the vocal's doing or support what the track wants to do, and it just comes out, you know. And then you've got to use your brain a bit to do the harmony stuff, but
sure.
But it's I do a lot of this stuff, so it takes a lot of time to kind of get quick at it, but it's great when you do. Cause then it looks impressive.
And I think you're really proficient at it, and I keep trying to send you as much work as possible through producers.
It is appreciated.
That are like using Splice or whatever, and I'm like, just use Joe. He's great. And he can do these big brass sections. I'm gonna play. That's all the swing and bass crew.
I also play sax a little bit. Yeah. And trombone, but don't get me wrong, hire other people, but I can also demo up everything so you know what it's going to sound like if you can afford to get 3 brass bands.
And I purposely dropped in Splice as well because you've actually made a Splice pack, haven't you?
Yeah, several. Well, there's definitely, I think one's not out yet. There's one I've done which is out on the sub label, but will be coming to Splice at some point. But yeah, Reggae Horns is like the big one I did. That is, I think 180 loops and then 41 shots of magic.
Wow.
Hopefully,
I can vouch for them because I've actually used them in a tune, which I sent you earlier.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
Yeah. Listen to it. It's only great, man. Yeah. No, it's nice to hear it being used. Admittedly, by someone over. I know it's being used though because I get the quarterly reports and it's like people are.
Well, no details of funds.
I'm not saying any of that. But
people.
But it's just cool to see. You know, you just see the download numbers. It's like, oh, it's cool. People are definitely going in on it. So, yeah, and Splice is great. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, it's always a useful thing. But hire me first, and then if I'm rubbish, then you can use Splice.
That's it. Like I speak to a lot of producers, and they send me stuff, and because the electro swing scene is heavily sampled, and like many genres, but mostly electro swing from the 1920s and 30s and whatnot. I'm like, let's start making some originals and let's stop using these sounds because there is a bit of a limitation, I think. Like making this album has really like opened my eyes a little bit to what we can make.
And I will say, like, to anyone, like, if you've not recorded people before, I mean, firstly, there's a fucking ton of musicians out there, great musicians, wherever you are in the world now. I think there's just great musicians around the corner, and you will, if you struggle doing the recording bit, if you struggle doing that bit, I just say stick it out because you'll just get better. Like, I don't get me wrong, sometimes you hit a winner, especially if you know somebody who's who can do recording anyway. Like they will help you through the process. But it's worth doing and learning. Like learning is key in this world, and we're always trying to do more. And I think if you're just afraid of that kind of jump to working with real musicians, jump in.
I think it's true. I think a lot of producers are 100%.
I completely get it.
Because they might just be sitting at home on their laptop and think, oh, like that's too big. Like I'm just here. I mean, I started this album on a little laptop, and then Joe's like, "You need a better computer, mate." I was like, "Yeah, I'm running like 50 channels, and then the whole thing's just crashing."
Yeah, we've got 50 channels of brass in this.
Yeah, so let's go back into the the brass.
We're going back. I use a clip mic, and I there are loads of stuff you can use for trumpet, but for me and the way I play, I think this suits me. And also, it's going through a bit of a fancy pants preamp rig that would cost a lot more than £200. But besides the point, so I think I'm trying to put my head back into early 2020, late 2019, and when we did this. So I'm just going to play the first section. Oh no, I know exactly what we're doing. So we started off here. The sort of saxes were taking like the main. We wanted like a really razzy, kind of dirty, bluesy sort of club thing coming from the saxes. So let's hear them on their own with the track. Whoa, reverb. Let's stop that. Cool. So dirty, sort of bluesy thing, all in unison, no harmonies, and that is on purpose just to make it sound thick. I mean, right now there's no processing on it, so it's kind of quite dry. But you know, I mean, you can make that sound super thick, and then on top, the trumpets are adding the harmony and giving a little bit of rhythm as well. And then at the end, the saxes are going into harmony just to kind of make that end of that phrase work really well. So it just goes, and we got loads of notes all at once. For those who don't know, I'm actually using a mute, which is I can't find, but it's basically like the end of a toilet plunger. Essentially, what it is, it's called a plunger mute.
That thing.
Yeah, it's a wah wah. And for those experimenting into brass, like mutes are like, especially in electro swing, like mutes are just big. Like there's so much stuff you can do, and there's loads of different mutes. So if you are hiring people to record stuff for you, you know, tell them to bring all your mutes and then hear what it sounds like. Last thing on this bit, I did actually add an extra layer of line just to kind of play out that phrase and make it even bigger. So just two trumpets and a tenor and layered up. I mean, I feel like Rich when we said this. It's like I want it to be like playable live, and like, this is not gonna. This song doesn't cut for that, but the other ones feel like.
Well,
we'll make it work.
You know what it is. I think it's about like maybe FX pedals or.
No, you can definitely do it. It's just I think FX pedals is going to be a cool thing to have anyway, just for like doubling stuff, and it's going to sound cool, and octave pedals and stuff. But yeah, all together. Oh, actually, the trombone is also joining on that line. Back to the gremlin.
Mate.
Yeah, mate.
It's fine. It worked.
It's
worked.
fine. I like it. I quite like it. It's the same as the track. So then,
I mean, that was an option. Is right. If we can't get Kathika, we'll get like some real baritone bass singer.
Yeah.
Of which I can't think of anyone.
No, Barry White. It's not.
Yeah.
And then so after that point, vocals are coming in. We're leaving those trumpets in. The trombones are also joining in with a same mute.
Oh yeah.
Which is just kind of adding a little bit more low end underneath.
Cool. It's like a natural filter.
It's pretty much what it is, yeah. Like it gives you a little bit of a pitch wob as well. It's like, who needs serum, man? You just Suck a
Yeah.
plunger on it, you know.
Always used to worry about making that dough. I tried selling tickets for a traveling show. I remember what my mama said when I was young. She said, do what you do and the money go. So I batted my bag.
So we could just copy and paste, which is kind of what has happened, but I've also added an extra layer on the next section just to stamp out a little bit more rhythmic punchiness. So this, which is most of the saxes all going at once. But basically, I imagine if this was a full big band, like the saxes took the lead in that first section, they get a bit of a break for the first half of the verse, and then they get to join in a bit on this next half of the verse.
Yeah. Something I think I fully don't think about whilst making tunes for brass. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's just have brass all the way through the song, and then they're like knackered at the end of your song, and you're like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? Right, let's do another, 10
Yeah,
songs.
unfortunately, it is a physical thing, and don't get
Are
me
you
wrong.
ready? Are you ready for the album launch, Joe?
No.
You-
Officially not. No, well, no, but I do not. I'm already thinking. It's like I'm practicing more just to kind of bit by bit kind of not.
So we've
Get too
got
knackered, yeah.
we've got the launch at Bristol on the 4th of September at Jam Jar, and in London on the 18th at Brixton Hootenannies. So it's going to be amazing to actually
Mate, I can't
perform these
wait. I
tunes
really can't
live.
wait. It's going to be so good. And I've got
It's-
so much time to practice, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's going to be wicked. I can't wait to do it. And just like, yeah. I mean, even when we did, are we allowed to say this for the video shoot?
Yeah.
To give stuff away?
Say anything, man.
Yeah. So for the video shoot, we would just, it's like a full band on stage sort of style for some of the shots. And we were playing some of those tunes, just kind of
I know.
arsing around, really. And it was like,
mate,
sounds
it
great.
was. Do you know what it was? It was like the first time we played first time we've ever played a song together. First time we'd played after lockdown. Well, it's not after lockdown. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it was valid. That. It's the first time being in a room on stage.
But I was so nervous and stressed about the video. And then as soon as everyone started playing, I was like, wow, I'm now so excited.
Yeah, man.
And everyone was on point. Like, yes, we were playing to backing track and no one had to play, but it was just like, it's like,
you do
just
to make it look
on.
real, and it's just like, yeah, this is going to be great, and with most of the same musicians who are going to be there, right? I think I might be wrong.
Yes and no, 50-50.
Okay, fair enough. All right, the next bit of the track is where I think we can both feel a bit clever, right, about this bit, because so essentially, this first bit of the first half of the track is all 116 BPM, and we get to 174. I'll just play a bit of the drum.
Press G.
Right, so we
Press
just
G.
G.
Yeah, so they can see.
Oh gosh,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry, globals. Like, don't look at this. This session is not well. At least I've color coordinated it a little bit, but it's.
I have to say that this song went through a massive journey, and I got well into like polyrhythms, and was trying because it was written at like around 116 BPM. I was like, how do I make this drum and bass? And then I started realizing that if you divide 116 in half and then add that, it makes 175.
Yeah.
So
that's where this kind of came in.
Yeah. And I was just at my wit's end at trying to make it work, but we got there in the end.
Did something.
How did we do it?
We did it by, essentially, I'll say it and explain it, and it might not make sense, but then we'll play it and it will. So I basically wrote a line on the trumpets that fit the old tempo, and it's just triplet crotchets. So da 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 like that. But that triplet would then become the new quarter note beat for the next bit. So da 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 da, and suddenly we're at 174 BPM.
Yeah.
It was I didn't think it was going to work. I had the idea in there, and and then we did it, and it was like, yeah, okay, that works. So let me just play that.
And it's just, you've got that little extra count.
Yes.
The 2 2
we get a little 2/4 bar that kind of leads us in, which is basically giving us 3 of those notes to get in.
Or maybe put the metronome click on as well. So maybe
it goes straight into 174.
Because this is proper muso stuff.
I can't believe we got away with it. Honestly, it's like, right.
In DJ terms, it's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine DJs listening to it going, wicked, I'm going to put it in my set. What? And when you put it into like Serato or Tractor or even CDJs, it will go, right, what's the tempo?
Yeah.
And they don't do tempo changes
No.
on this software unless you have to go back in and program it. So
man. Yeah.
I haven't really
shot yourself in the foot, but it's fine.
No, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to what DJs might think.
Yeah, true.
And how they react to it being played. But I did play a set and start it with this song, so meh. Cool. Yeah, play tune.
I'm gonna play a tune. I'll play it with that click, and then I'll play it with click, and then we kind of get that.
Talking to myself as I walk to the sun. I said, do the money will come.
And we're in. So if I take, let's do a bit of musical stuff. So that trumpet line without the click, it's 115. I realise that it might not be in time with the. No, it should be in time.
Yeah,
you might be hearing it out of time, but yeah. 115, 174, and we have the luck of the build that kind of just does it for us anyway. But, excuse that one trumpet. Blah, blah, blah. Track back in.
So just to add as well, I may have cut them out or turned them down on the drop.
I think we filtered them up. Might have even done that.
No. On the drop.
Oh yeah.
Notes. I think I did something. I think I kept them in, but they weren't so.
They weren't so thick. Yeah. So this is it would have changed since now, but essentially that's the way we found a way of getting around the tempo change. And I'm quite happy with that. So underneath the trumpets, we've just got some really. This is where we've got Patrick Kenny doing his best, sort of massive. I love it. And sax is on top. Same thing. And I really wanted that kind of everything to be so thick chord-wise and just to go to a single unison note. I think it just had so much power at that point when the drop hits. Let's hear it with everything in. And there we go. We're straight into a bit of Aaron Liddard giving us a bit of his magic. Let's just chuck that solo up in the mix.
Yeah, that mate. That solo's banging.
I reckon that might have been like the first take as well. I can't remember. We did like loads, and it was. just
one hit wonder, mate.
He's just
down.
full of it. He's
Absolutely
excellent.
smashed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you're listening to a tune where I feel a bit like maybe we should have maybe not had this version in, but I'm fine with it. I mean, it shows the process.
Yeah. It's like, I mean,
the shakers are so loud, like
everything's a bit mad. It's like, but this is early days. Like we're just kind of this is still in the formation of it. I can't remember when this session was last opened. It was a long time ago.
So have you? So in terms of this is just the arrangement. I'm not looking at anything you've added. Everything's quite dry.
Yeah. I can't. I haven't looked at this session for a while, so I'm gonna actually just investigate.
So there was no like warpings, timing anything up.
Well, I mean that would be telling. Everyone played everything perfectly as we wanted it to happen immediately. Obviously.
Yeah.
No, I think we can see. Here we go. This is created from an old version of Melodyne.
Melodyne.
I mean, this isn't the full thing, but I'm not going to beat around the bush. I melodyned everything. But
what?
The reason
you melodyned everything?
Not everything. You know what I mean? I put everything into Melodyne. And there's just the
select all, select the key.
No. I went through individually and moved things. I don't do that. I don't do any of the macro stuff because it just doesn't work that well. Some like on horns, the pitch stuff you can just like if you just wanted to try make things sound a bit tight, you can just select all and macro the pitch slightly. You can choose the percentage of how much more in tune it wants to be. But mostly it's timing stuff. I think there's when you're not playing in the same room as everyone and you're layering up, up to like 15 layers, it doesn't work the same when you're not in the same room. And it's just especially for this type of music, like sometimes everything just needs to land on the one, and like the bang of the track won't work if everything doesn't. So it's moving right now. So when I say I've melodyned everything, I've not moved every note, for everything that's happening. It's just thankfully just to give Melodyne a bit of love here, because I love it so much. I treated myself to the full version of it, and with the full version, let me just record it.
So wait, you've just switched it on, and you've got all the options there.
Yeah.
So it's like its own software inside. So you can see everything. Wow.
Zoom. Okay. So I tell you what, that was a time saver. I got this when I was doing the reggae horn stuff because I was getting different horn players on that, and I just thought it's just going to be so much easier to edit if I can just see everything like that. And Man, it's a real time saver. And, if you want to put everything on a macro, and just do blah blah.
Amazing.
So that is great. I mean, obviously, I'd love to say everything was unedited, but let's be realistic. It's just not the way things happen. Unless you want it to have that kind of sound, and sometimes I think certain bits of the album we definitely just left as it was because it's more vibey when it's not. It's got humanness to it, and So
creating soul from a soulless device.
Yeah, and there is definitely. I think with any kind of editing of real instruments, I always try and be minimal, because that's the point of it, right? If you want it to sound robotic, you don't add in real stuff. It's just the way it goes. But
there was a section in the second breakdown, I think, where I changed the groove a little bit. It was I was trying to work out which bit it was on. No, before then.
This has probably changed a lot since this version of it as well, because I think we did change it around. Because we've once we got to 174, we stayed in 174, and the way I was playing, I think I re-recorded these even actually. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Because suddenly we've gone from the offbeats to being offbeats, so where they really need to be swung, to being now that's 2 and 4. So 1, 2,
Yeah.
It was so just had to. I think originally we just sped up the original ones, to meet the
Yes.
174, and I think it was just spent too
Yeah.
much time kind of trying to make it work, and it was just easier to record it at the new tempo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did that section. I just wanted to, I just love this bit. This is why I want to play it. It was after that wicked solo from Error. The stabs on this were so much fun. I mean, yeah, it's got some kind of, you might hate me saying this, but it's got some kind of like 70s crime thing in there as well. But I know, but not in a naff way. You know what I mean? It's just like it's really hard hitting still, but it's got kind of
Yeah,
I can visualize
I mean,
stuff.
You know, I would have said, you know, an Italian odd.
Yeah, totally. That's it. Yeah, I think that's more. Yeah, maybe not like a British Reading based crime thriller, but you know, something a bit more classy than that.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like an Italian driving car, the Italian job.
Yeah,
you know,
no, that is a better description.
That's the vibe I was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, it was just taking advantage of having 8 plus 5, which is 13 horns playing at the same time. I can get quite crunchy on those chords as well, and there's a bunch of clashes in there that I just think sound great. Like, I'll tell you what chord it is, but I think it's like an F sharp 7 with a sharp 9, but over a third, for those who care.
Mate, that is beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, when do you, even like, you know, most of the stuff I do is pop, but I don't get the chance to have 13 like, cool, we're gonna really voice stuff for a massive section. It's just so much fun. Okay, back to Graham.
Mate, it's wicked.
Yeah, wicked. I think that's almost it. What happens here? Oh, yeah, of course.
And then this big section.
I love this bit.
It's really growly.
Yeah, I think
I love that you're still working at it, even though the song's done and it's out.
It was like, man, we were against time, so I couldn't make my regions look pretty. You know?
Yeah, mate, it's fine.
It's so terrible. It's just like automatic reaction as well. I'll just trim off the edge of that region.
It's not working.
That's
just
it.
talk about it.
The track's out, man. I can't what doing. But yeah, so this was like, I mean, I think when this was kind of being toyed around with, it was like, it's just going to sound a bit lame. It's just copying the bass line. Oh, it's so wrong. So wrong. And you were saying, it's like, I want this big growly thing. And it's like, oh, we'll do it. And yeah, it sounds wicked. Like, I mean, you've got the fart cannon of Patrick Kenny just doing it for you. So good.
I mean, so with that, it's kind of like, what am I trying to say? I realised what I was trying to say and then forgotten. But like the big, like jump up drum and bass is usually like just the bass line, and everyone's just going da 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 da, and there's something pretty cool about that. It's like a melody that everyone's singing along to, and it's drum and bass.
Yeah, it's like one of those things like in classic sort of horn stuff I wouldn't necessarily do. Like you might have like a bass trombone and baritone joining in with a bass line, but this just is. It's like it's more like a clubby, but you know what I mean. Like it's just drum and bassy sort of. It's your sawtooth, fat sawtooth, but with real brass. You know, it's kind of And I think we did like one growl, one without growl, one with. So it's like, and the next one. Which is literally just going whilst you're playing, and it kind of creates that sort of sound. And then same with the. I think this is 2 tenors and a barry. So this is right at the bottom end of the tenor saxophone, which sounds really honky anyway, and then the baritone obviously doing what it should be doing, sitting on that low end.
Yeah, it's wicked, man.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
Cool.
Love it. I love it. I love it. It's great.
Did you send me
Just-
the master? I was interested in kind of.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
It's gonna
What's
sound.
to you?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, stick that in.
Everyone's seen my WhatsApp now.
Yeah, don't look at her WhatsApp. Hi, mum.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It was high mum. It's my mum definitely talking on there.
So it's also like a lot of electro swing tunes have tubas playing the bass line,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of Balkan music has the tuba doing the bass line, and there's loads of stuff that does brass with the bass line. But I just thought, and sometimes you can layer stuff with loads of melodies going on, and it just gets a bit confusing. Sometimes less is more, or like. You go, right, that's doing the main melody, and these are all just like twinkling along. And then sometimes it has more emphasis when you layer lots of cool sounds doing one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, I think it was a banging idea, and it was when I first I think we were Aaron's first, and we were doing it at the section. It was just like, yeah, this is gonna be wicked. Like, yeah. Love it.
I just can't wait to perform it live. That's all my.
Yeah.
That's basically the big stage, big ideas.
4th
Festival
September
vibes.
and 4th September in Bristol.
4th September,
and
18th,
then-
18th at Hootenannies.
Wicked.
Be there.
Jam Jar in Bristol, right? Yeah.
Jam Jam Bristol, yeah. So yeah, play the tune
It's very good.
and see the difference.
Yeah. We'll watch it go along.
Will come. I always used to worry about making the dough. I tried selling tickets for a traveling show. Now I
wicked, man.
remember what my mama
The
said when I was young.
Kathika smashed it as well.
Man, her vocals are so good. Like, seriously, so good.
So I recorded that here.
Oh, yeah.
Literally just there.
Nice.
Road NT2A, baby.
Yeah, mate. Classic. Yeah, that's... I think if you get a good singer, good song, you can put any mic in front of them and they'll just sing it sound amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did take them off. That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because I wanted the solo to come through. Yeah.
This is with new bass as well, right? Johnny G on the bass.
Yeah, Johnny G on a double bass.
Sounds great. The sound he got is wicked on this.
We went in, yeah. We had Jamie on drums.
Yeah.
And I layered that with some breaks. I think it's that Amen break, but and loads of other things. But then I wanted to create the live element in there.
It definitely adds something to it. It just adds a bit of variance. You don't even notice it always. It's just like subconscious. There's
Jamie Trowell.
That's it. Yeah.
Trying to remember his surname. Yeah. Because I wanted it to be live as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a good feeling to play it out in a club recently.
Yeah, right. How
And
did
just
that
see
go?
the reaction
Where was
at
that?
Black Swan.
Okay.
Black Swan was like 2 weeks ago.
Nice. You gigged?
Yeah,
You've done a gig?
I'd like to say exactly. I'd like to say
Okay.
it went off, but that's a bit big-headed.
Did it go off though?
It went off.
Yeah,
No, I just didn't know what to think.
yeah.
A year of not doing anything to playing to people was a bit of crazy.
Yeah, like I had a gig in the middle of the whole thing, like in October, in Italy somehow. I don't know how that.
Oh
happened.
yeah.
That was the only gig I did last. Oh no, I did two in October. I did that, and then I did an originals thing, which is like a R&B soul thing, which was weird. Like the gig was great. I mean, the playing was great and the people were cool, but just doing it was so restrictive. Like you could only go in and watch the artists you came in to watch. You couldn't watch everyone. You could only stay in for that room. And they kicked out in between each act, and it was just like, yeah, it was good to do, but like not. I wouldn't say the process was enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to it being like just like it used to be.
So, just to add, so on the brass, I actually do what I did with Decapitator.
Yeah, I'll get that.
And that was, that was basically the magic behind a lot of the brass. There you go, banging tune.
Yeah, so
and the tone up ever so slightly in the middle. Yeah, that's it.
And
little
just
fraction.
Playing with the mix. Actually,
and then playing with the mix, and that is literally it. And then at the bottom you've got different styles. And I just really, it's like, this is my Mr. Trick way of explaining what a decapitator does.
Yeah. Go on.
It saturates to the kind of right, whereas your normal distortion and saturation will just, you can pick and choose, obviously, depending, but it saturates to the left, whereas decapitator is like all to the right on the frequencies spectrum.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So like, it kind of affects the
Adds
higher frequencies
harmonics
a bit more than it like. Yeah, because a lot of distortion kind of just makes like the low end of that signal square wavy, and you don't really get any sizzle. You just kind of get like to it.
And then you just have to low cut it. But this decapitator, I literally think it is definitely one of my top 10 plugins.
I use it all the time.
Fab filter.
Yeah, it's kind of already done it.
It's like warmth. It's just so cool. And
even push it a little bit more, but
although because you got punish on,
you gotta be careful.
Doing too much drive. But that's basically it. That's
that's cool. I'm pretty sure. I'm just looking what I did here.
And then on the reverbs, I did a spring, a plate, and a tape delay.
Cool. Did I send you this like my reverb thing as well? I can't remember if I did.
Yes, and then I had your reverb channel, as well.
I don't think I did it with this tune, but I did on some of the other tracks. I don't have loads of outboard gear, but I have one particularly fancy tube preamp that you can really drive stuff with, and I'm pretty sure I went through the long process of literally running all the tracks through it and kind of just finding that sweet spot, and a bit laborious, but it definitely just adds a bit of character throughout. I don't think I did it on this tune though, because there was so much going on. I thought if I just did that to everything, you're just going to get a bit of a fat blob basically, but it always helps, I think, a bit of real analog saturation if you can get away with it.
And you smashed it, Joe.
Thanks, man.
I think this is a brilliant, without sounding too pretentious, but body of work. It looks like a body of work, but in the sense of the brass really shines in it, and couldn't have done it without you, obviously.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for giving me like the opportunity, obviously, to do it, but also to kind of just let me try stuff as well, because a lot of people can kind of get very fixated on, I have this idea, I want to do that, and not allow other things to happen. And because I'm not always going to be right, but I might come up with something and go, oh yeah, that is it. So
no, I mean, and that was like good when it was like sitting here and like we've done like and you writing the melody and then me kind of going, this kind of idea, and then you just do it and I'm like, yes, that and then you do something else and I'm like, not quite that, but maybe this.
And
it's wicked.
You've got to experiment, and it's
and the moment you did in the red brass,
Yeah.
Mate, I was like, wow. And that little what should I say? What little bit top secret that's coming out on
Segway?
Segway or little exclusive for you
Exclusive. I
guys.
was just about to ask, is there anything we can say about that?
Yeah, it's coming out on Spearhead Records and being pressed to vinyl.
Boom!
Yeah.
Sweet.
So big up you, big up me, big up Daniel
Yeah, man.
Ariliano
He
on the
killed it.
vocals.
He
of
recorded
that as
vocals here.
well.
It was great.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
But that is
that's wicked.
another session.
Yes.
Where
Another time.
we can
Yeah,
break
man.
down the tracks that are on the album. That one's not on the album, but yeah, I think that's been
enough. Right.
Yeah, that's enough. Thanks for people who've probably watched this back. We'll do some more breakdowns of tunes on the album because I think they deserve them, and we are working extremely hard, bringing you guys the music, bringing you the vibe, trying to keep everyone positive and happy through these weird times, and hopefully see you in a field at some point. And if you're not already involved, follow Joe Rodwell on all his socials, and also make sure you're involved in the Swing and Bass family on Facebook group, and hope you will find out all about the events and the album launches that we're going to do for this beautiful album. And for everyone who kickstarted it, big up you guys. Your USBs and your power packs are being posted on the way if you ordered them.
Sweet.
Anything else to say, Joe?
No, that's it. Thanks for this, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, big up.
Wicked. All right. Catch you later.
Bye.